We are back to continue the live coverage from the Biel Chess Festival GMT tournament. The Blitz section is well underway. 9 games have been played. So without any introduction, let's just go see to the games. Are they ready to start? Because round 10 is about to start. No, it's not yet starting. So I think what we are going to do, we are going to check very quickly what is happening in round 10 and what we can expect.
And here are our pairings. Yu Yang is going to play against Le Quang Liam, David Navarre against Arjun Regaisi, Jules Moussard against Bogdan Daniel Diak, and Bassa Amin against Vincent Keimer.
And we are going to follow which game, Angelika?
Bassa Amin against Vincent Keimer. I think we haven't seen much of Bassa Amin, and Vincent Keimer is still current leader.
That was which board again?
And 1 second. It was board number 4.
Board number 4. All right.
We're going to have players appear very, very soon.
I can hear there's some kind of award ceremony. I guess they are awarding a certain tournament. I don't know which one. And that's why the players are sitting there at the stage. They're watching it, of course. But I think as soon as the awarding is finished, they're going to be able to start the game. Yeah, in the meantime, the viewers, again, if you have some insights, some questions, don't hesitate to answer, not to answer, but ask them. We'll do our best to answer them as quickly as we can. But as you can see, this is non-stop action. Situation is changing very quickly. And the games are on.
And the games are on indeed. We have knight f3, of course, as always from Bassa Amin. Trying for King's Indian attack.
I haven't seen my chessable course because, you know, recently I released my chessable course on King's Indian attack, and I told Amin, you know, I'm writing about your topic. He said, yeah, I know, I've seen it, you know. And this idea, H3, is one of the suggestions. Of course, it's not mine mentioned, but, you know, me and Amin, we share the same love for the King's Indian attack, and he's probably one of the greatest experts, if not the greatest expert of the King's Indian attack. So, yeah, there's a lot we can talk about. We have a lot of common.
Absolutely. As he said in one of the post-game interviews that he was pretty under pressure because he knew that the game is currently commentated but was by one of the experts of the King's Indian attack.
This I recognize, this particular line. Pretty sure it's in the course.
Mm-hmm.
All right, E takes. C takes, I think it's not good because white plays C4. And then opens the bishop on g2. I think knight x on d5 has to be played. But then again, yeah, knight e5, knight c4, rook e1, g4. You need to watch out what happens with your pawn on e5. So I think that Keimer will have to include bishop takes on f3 to preserve the pawn on e5.
Absolutely. And here we have, yeah, bishop c7 going away from that knight c4.
Okay, what's he doing? Is he going to play g4 immediately, then rook e1, or rook e1, allowing bishop f3? He played g4.
He played g4 first. He didn't want to allow it, yeah.
It's very responsible, of course, because now, I mean, black, of course, is not obliged to defend the pawn, and exactly the point. Keimer, he recognizes that this position, Angelika, could be some sort of sharing a familiarity with what? Marshall.
Marshall, yeah.
It looks sort of like Marshall, right?
So f5, trying to blow up some pieces, some pawns there on the king side.
Opening the king side, right? I mean,
maybe g5 or?
You mean for white, g5. I think that black is trying to open the king side, right? And white is thinking about how to keep things closed.
Yes, that's why d5 I'm thinking for
right.
white.
G5 makes perfect sense. Then again, black could march forward with something like a 4 or queen d6. This game has a chance to explode. Again, in the overall rankings, Keimer is still leading the tournament with 25 points. Le Quang Liam is still behind and trying to close in.
And actually for me in the tournament, the Blitz tournament is not going so well. He's currently on the last spot for only 2 points. But let's see how he's going to play this game. Maybe it's going to change and he will try to start winning. Of course, in the tournament with 8 players, we cannot, and g5 is played, g5 is on the board.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time on this move. I think he doesn't like this position because, again, in Blitz, you need this initiative. You need this temporary initiative and easiness to make the move. So g5, of course, he tries to close the action. Maybe keep the knight on e5 with something like d4. We'll see.
Quick question is what is happening after f4? What are you going to do there?
Queen g4 maybe, knight
Queen
b4.
g4.
It's so difficult to understand quickly. Maybe f4, a3 maybe is necessary, or maybe bishop d2 first. Develop the bishop, but make sure that knight b4 is never a thing.
Absolutely, and then potentially could be some c4 ideas to ask the knight go away. And trade happens on e5, bishop e5 and rook e5, and now f4. So first trading that knight there.
I guess Keimer decided that bishop on g6 is too important piece, and that's why after f4, I think he included this f4 so that white gonna take on g6. Queen g4 is played. Wait. What about knight b4 here? Okay, maybe after knight b4 he jumps back to e2, f3, and again we have some sort of a craziness on the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although, wait, knight b4, I could take bishop takes on f4. Knight c2 and do something else. Doesn't matter. Queen d6 is on the board.
Queen d6 is played, so now what are you doing with your rook? Do you protect with d4? Do you push it away?
d4 opens the pawn on c2, which is simply under attack. If you play something like rook e2, you need to watch out for f3, bishop f3, knight f4. You know, suddenly black gets very active, sacrifices the second pawn. I think Winston sees this, and more importantly, also the Egyptian grandmaster sees this. So the big question is, can you play queen e6, trade the queens? d4, wow, he sacrificed the pawn.
What happens after bishop c2?
Or even knight b4. I mean, these moves definitely deserve to be calculated, right? I mean, bishop c2, the first one which jumps to my mind. Knight b4 perhaps is even more ambitious. But knight b4, again, white can take on f4, queen d4. Oh my goodness, you have to calculate so many things in a very limited time span.
I think after bishop c2, the idea is bishop d5 and then bishop f4. Possible?
That's a good idea, indeed. Strong idea. Knight b4 is played.
Knight b4 is played, so now what to do with the pawn?
I don't know. I mean, bishop f4 makes sense. c3 also looks logical. c3, knight c2, rook b1. I think this rook on b1 is going to be under attack. Bishop f4 is played. But wait, what about queen d4? Now, what happens after this queen d4, c3? There's so many things under attack.
I think after queen d4, there might be intermediate check or not. Queen e6, actually bishop c7, bishop f7.
Bishop
G3.
G3. Now, it appears that the Egyptian grandmaster has solidified his position, and I think he's just fine. Knight x on c2. Keimer restores balance on the board.
Absolutely, there is the idea to trade the queens and play rook d1 or to double the rooks. He's playing immediately rook d1.
I like that
Yeah.
he sacrificed the pawn on b2 so that he can focus on activity. I mean, queen b2, look at this. Rook e7 and bishop e5, right? So black not only is attacked at the 7th rank, but also bishop e5 becomes a very big threat.
Absolutely, and yeah, the bishops, two bishops on the board is going to be for sure a big advantage. Bishop on g2 is controlling the whole diagonal. The pawns cannot push, so you can take the pawn on b2, but your pawns on the c and
5
b5.
seconds.
Oh my God, 5 seconds for Vincent.
H takes on g4, but I think that the Egyptian grandmaster is going to win this. f4, f5 becomes too much of a big threat. So rook e8, Keimer is trying desperately to hold on. If white managed to play f4, f5 with two bishops, this is a monstrous power.
Rook d7, knight e... Oh my God, what is going on?
f4,
Bishop?
f5? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Maybe bishop h1, keep the bishop in the game.
Yeah,
Plays bishop h1.
bishop h1 is played to try to keep the bishop up there. f4 is a big threat. Trying to trade the
I
pieces.
think white is winning. Bishop e4 takes... Oh, wait, he didn't trade? Why you wouldn't trade?
And now the question is, if you're taking, there could be a checkmate attack.
Why you didn't take
Oh,
e4?
no,
It
but
was
wait a
such an obvious
second.
choice, no? Did he miss it?
But now there is a draw, right? Now knight jumps and checks, no?
No, this is obstacle of bishops. Okay, I mean, it's tiredness, it's blitz. Of course, in time scramble, we're missing things, but I think that Amin Belsen was already getting a winning position. Just trade the bishops, play rook b7, rook a7, and have an extra pawn, active piece. That should have been a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's already like 10 games after. He's pretty tired. I guess he missed that idea of knight f3. We have
A
bishop
material
d7,
balance.
yeah.
Now, Keimer is recovering. Wait a second. This game can still go the other way. h5, h4, h3. Yeah, g6. Wait, after h5, white will play g6 and threaten with some checkmate ideas.
And one pawn was just taken by Bassam. Actually, he took the pawn.
So
And-
once again, he has an extra pawn.
Now he's trying to push that A pawn. Looks very suspicious.
Or very good for white. Yeah, bishop e5.
H7. I mean, suspicious for black, of course. H7 is under attack. The second pawn is taken.
Now, I think once again white is winning, so he has 2 extra pawns, so a second chance for the Egyptian Grandmaster to climb the rankings. He's currently actually in the last place of the Blitz tournament with a rather disappointing 2 points out of 9, so this victory would be really sweet for him.
A5 is being pushed. Bishop C4 starting to stop the block, the A6 square, pushing the rook, the pawn. Okay, so
Rook
now
C5. The big question is this enough? I think white cannot afford to trade rooks because then the kingside pawns are blocked, so he wants to keep them on the board. This is going to be tense.
Rook C6 wants to push for A6 or bring the rook to A6, A8.
King B4, King C5, King B6 makes perfect sense. Push the pawn forward. Wait, what about Rook C1? Now black can trade.
Wait a second.
Black can trade, but I guess the A pawn will be promoting to queens. You have no time to calculate. Both players are down on 5 seconds or so.
Now Rook C1.
Rook C1, King D6, King
Rook
D7, King F7. He goes after the pawn on G6.
Rook C6 now.
And again he declines.
But wait, wasn't there bishop F5?
King C6.
Ah, King C6, yeah.
King D8 is played, I guess, to avoid this bishop F5 trick you mentioned. Rook D6, all right. So he's looking for the right moment to play A6, A7. I mean, this should be a win, of course, for white, but on seconds, everything can happen.
Indeed, and now bishop B8, A7.
Yeah, I think that's it. So A7 now becomes a big threat. Keimer can never lead the long diagonal for the bishop, and rook takes on G6 at some point probably is going to decide the game. And that's exactly where the white king is heading. Rook takes on G6. This has to be stopped, but how do you stop it? King H5.
King H5 is trying to protect the pawn.
There could be even some mate threats at some point. King F6, F5, Bishop G3, Rook H4.
Rook is coming from other side to grab that pawn on G6. Rook A6 trying to protect. Rook H8. He's coming around from all the sides.
Right. King goes here.
Now Rook E6.
What?
No, Rook E6 is not possible. No, Rook E6.
F5 threat, King G4 goes back. You know, I don't immediately see how to make a progress. Oh, there it is. So, yeah, I think white missed King H5, but wait a second, the pawn on F4 is still under attack. I think he should sacrifice the exchange on G6. Why is he not doing this? So I think he's just trying to save some time. Now the black king is back on H5. Why didn't you sacrifice the exchange on G6?
What is going on? Okay.
You can still do it. You gotta play Rook takes on G6. Oh, and there you go. Rook takes on E4 finally is missed.
Yes, he was always removing the bishop. He was always removing bishop and then forget. Let's see if we have any games still ongoing. We have results.
That's
yeah,
it.
all games finished. Okay, let's check. Jules Mussart against Bogdan Daniel Diak. What they...
Right, and here you see in the small overall rankings for the Blitz, at least, that Terigasi is again in the lead, 6.5 points. Like Wang Liam Yuyani have 6 points. Of course, what matters is the overall rankings. We're going to talk about in a moment, but indeed, let's check the games.
Let's check the games. So we had the Caracan here by Bogdan Daniel Diak.
Finally, some fresh air. Finally, no Italian game.
No Italian.
All right, exchange Caracan, one of my favorite topics. H3, Bishop D7, knight E2, knight F3. All right, looks pretty nice for white because, again, the idea of this exchange Caracan, or once again the Cospat, is to start the kingside attack, right? So that's why black plays very quickly E5 to try to discourage white from doing nasty things.
Indeed, and knight went all the way to D4.
I mean, these players are just too good, right? I mean, having one weakness on D5, usually it's not enough. And actually, black won this game.
Incredible.
All right, it appears that white is still pushing.
Okay, now
that's a big decision.
Yeah, the big decision. I mean, knight on E5 was actually a pretty nice piece.
But for some reason, he decided to take. I guess he saw that the pawn on D5 and C6 will make nice weaknesses. Trade, Queen D6. I guess this is about balance. No, it's an extra pawn. It's simply an extra pawn for Jules Massard, and yet he lost the game.
How did it happen? It's very interesting. What happened here? Queen a5, queen d2, h4, b4.
Yeah,
Looks like,
I was really curious why he is not blocking this pawn, right?
yeah, just block with non d3, yeah?
Right. Now
Ah, there was knight c5 maybe, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, in time trouble, this is getting rather unpleasant. Bishop d3, rook d3, is it? No, knight a3.
But how can you?
Okay. Wait, wow.
Oh my god.
He blundered. I mean, look at that. I mean, rook d1, queen e8, he thought he's checkmated, right? King g7, queen f7, queen h7, he simply blundered.
And there's queen f8. Oh no.
Bishop f7, king g7 here takes, and now he's looking to win the rook on d1. Ah, he found it actually. But now he's down a piece. Oh my goodness, again, look at this moment, right? Very interesting moment. It would appear that the Frenchman found a beautiful combination. So h6 on g6, the rook on d8 is under attack. Here, queen e8 looks to be winning. No, queen f8. And
But I think there is queen a1, no? Queen a1?
Where?
No, later there is a queen a1 check. Ah, he's not in time, he's in check, okay.
There's a check.
Because queen a1 would...
he found even to trade.
He
found
found a way to
queens.
trade. Oh no.
Yeah, I guess this should be a win, but again, it's not really so simple. Yeah, it's a win.
Okay, so the next game we're going to have it in 17:20, so we still have time.
All right, now there's the short break, right, for the players. All right, let's check what we have here. Navarre, guys, see, we haven't yet seen this, right? What is this? E4,
This
E5?
is-
This is something new.
This is something fresh.
Something new, sacrificing a pawn. Very interesting stuff. I mean, black is sacrificing a pawn to get a lead in development, but both players apparently were within the prep. Knight e2, knight e5, rook c8. White has a pawn, but black is very active.
Black is indeed very active, and knight jumps over there to g4.
I would choose black, to be honest,
yeah.
you know, in a blitz game, but again, I mean, a pawn is a pawn.
Bishop on d6 is very comfortable, yeah. Trade on b5. Taking the
another pawn.
pawn, yeah.
Just like that. Another pawn is gone. He was trying to find a queen trade. Somewhere along the way, white lost a pawn because he was in a very serious time scramble. And yeah, black was starting to have some counterattack ideas because of the weakened king. Yeah, it's just difficult to play these positions,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
I mean, when you have a weak king, then it's just so
Just very tough, yeah. And now
So
there are
tough.
always ideas of a checkmate.
Wow. Wait, the bishop is under attack. I'm just
Yeah.
hallucinating.
The bishop is under attack, and the rook goes back, and
And it was
It
black,
was-
actually, who was pressing here.
it was a draw.
Crazy game.
Okay, so which game haven't we looked at?
Yuan Ye
against
against the Quan
Liam.
Liam. Another Italian. So this time it's some sort of a Hungarian variation. Bishop c5, bishop e7. Not very popular, but I mean, it's a line.
Of
Yeah.
course,
A4,
a5.
A5 is the classical way how usually white plays against the Hungarian system. Knight d2, fine. I think knight c3, knight e5 is more common. Okay, I'm not gonna argue. Okay, b5. So again, we have something rather peaceful. Now the knight is a beautiful thing on d5. There you go. The players always find a way to complicate matters. This is what I love.
Yeah, this is incredible. Always something to complicate. E5 was pushed.
All right. I mean, black is never going to lose this with such a powerful bishop on c5.
B4.
And black was trying to play for the win,
But, yeah,
but in the end,
it was not enough.
it was not enough.
Very nice touch.
Nice
Last
game.
touch.
Nice game indeed by Kwang Liem. It was not enough apparently to score the victory. Is there a game we haven't yet seen? Amin Bassem once again, this game we're following.
Yes, so I think we could go for a short break, something
Right,
like.
but let's first check the rankings.
So we have Vincent Keimer still leading the tournament with 2-point advantage. Le Quang Liem is hunting behind him, David Navarra, Yuan Yi with slight less points, and we see that Bogdan Daniel Diak is on the last place, but in the Blitz he's doing very, very well.
That's right. So also let's check the bearings. I believe this is the previous round, so let me find the next one. Here you go. Amin Bassem faces Yu Yanyi. Vincent Keimer plays against Jules Massar. Daniel Bogdanyak is playing against David Navarra. Arjun Regaisi is competing with Le Quang Liem. Angelica, which is the game you'd like to follow?
Maybe Bogdan Daniel Diak against David Navarra.
All right, we are going to do that. But in the meantime, let's make a break of something like, I don't know, 3 minutes. I don't think we simply have more time because the games are starting in 20. So see you in 3 minutes. Take some refreshments. I hope you're enjoying the coverage so far. I'm basically sweating here trying to follow all the action. And we'll be seeing you in a couple of minutes to see the decisive games of the Blitz tournament of the GMT. Take care. See you very soon. Welcome back, dear viewers. We have 4 more Blitz games of the GMT tournament of 2023 56th International Biel Chess Festival. Your host, as usual, Angelika Volkova. I'm Graham Nations. We are here to serve you and hopefully explain the games played at highest level with understandable commentary.
Incredible action, dynamic, excitement here in Biel at the classical portion of the Grandmaster Triathlon. The games are about to start, so we can already go and see when the players are arriving at the board. We're going to have quite some exciting last round. We will see who is going to be a winner of the Grandmaster Triathlon Blitz tournament.
That's right. So Eric Geisy currently has the best score of the Blitz tournament, 6.5 points. Like Wang Liam, Yu Yanyi have 6 points out of 10. It's very, very close. Winston Keimer, the overall tournament leader, has recovered after the bad start. He had 0 out of 3, but now he is back in contention.
Indeed, and we have another London, and the same as it was happening against the Jules Moussard, but c4 was played. Here, Arjun Erigaisi decided to go for take on c5 and allowing to grab the pawn on b2.
Yeah, this is a super popular line, of course. There's been some major developments. When I remember some time ago, sort of like a month ago, I suggested on Facebook, e3-4 is a new move. People laugh at me. They said, this is already yesterday's news. Nobody plays it, and there's already new developments because even if it seems it's just a London peaceful opening, there's this sharp line, and I mean, it's changing dramatically very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. And the queen is, I mean, in half of a trouble there. I mean, it like looks almost trapped there, you know, in case something like f3, e4 and bishop d2, you can trap the queen.
I like this. I mean, it's a struggle. I mean, both players are coming with guns blazing and saying, my opening prep is better. The other player says, no, I trust mine. And then they compete against each other. In the Blitz, where you have no time to think, you basically have to show your knowledge, your instincts. So it's going to be fun.
It is indeed going to be fun, and yeah, a4 is played. Lek Van Gleem is trying to think, and he's indeed playing the queen to b4.
All right.
Maybe it's an idea to try somehow save that queen from there, because on c3 it looked almost trapped.
I'm not sure if on b4 it looks even better, but perhaps knight e2, queen a3. Is this where you can hide your queen? Wait a second. What about rook a1? Rook a1, queen b4, c3, queen e4, knight g3, queen e6. How to trap this queen, you know?
There's queen b2. Queen b2 is played.
This can't be right. I mean, wait a second. Oh, queen d2, knight e4. What on earth is happening there? So queen d5 is a move. If queen d3 is played to play rook fb1, that's the big idea. Knight b4 is a move.
What about something like knight b to c1 with the idea of knight d3?
Knight b c1 drops the pawn on c5.
Oh, on c5, yeah. c3.
Wait, I have a feeling that black made a mistake because this queen on a3 looks so dangerously positioned that it should be falling. I mean, I think there's already idea like queen c2, rook a1. Then again, queen c2, you need to watch out for bishop f5.
Maybe. a6 is played, and now...
I mean, in the worst case, black can sacrifice a queen, right? You play rook a1, I take on a1, take on b5, and I have some material for the queen. Of
course, in the worst case scenario, it's possible, but Arjun is thinking right now, the queen is looking very, very dangerously positioned there on a3. The question is, what do you do? Rook a1 was played, so queen b2 is the only move that is on the board, and now... what is he going to do? And he's playing bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6, and e4 is a move. The idea is bishop c1, trapping the queen, is there.
All right.
Bishop c1 is trapping the queen in the next move. What are you going to play? Knight e4, bishop c1?
I guess I have to sell the queen for the right price, don't I?
Maybe there could be idea to play knight takes e4, bishop c1, knight takes c3. But
Good luck calculating that. E4 is a brilliant move. So I guess this is what the young Indian had in his mind, to play c3, rook a1, bishop c1. I think that here the Vietnamese grandmaster was tricked, and the Indian player simply shows that he had the better prep. But of course, we'll see.
absolutely incredible.
Knight e4.
Knight e4 played, bishop c1, and here knight c3, I guess. The only way.
I think black is just down a piece, and then knight c3, bishop b2, knight e1, bishop g7, king g7, rook d1. Thank you for the piece. I'll take it.
Yeah, with extra piece, with extra 40 seconds on the clock, for sure, it's already feels like a very, very big chance for him. But here we have the two central pawns trying to grab a center, trying to get some kind of compensation, which is obviously very, very hard to create. But knight a5.
Right, at least he managed to find some resources to play this e5, d4, 2 pawns for the piece. Of course, it's not enough. White is going to play rook b1, rook b6. Black has 2 connected pawns in the center, but normally this extra piece should be important. And the Regaisi shows that he sees this idea, rook b6 looks unstoppable. So I think what we are seeing here is yet another victory of the Blitz tournament leader.
But it'll be very, very fast victory. f4 is played, trying to break the pawn chain, f6, and now rook b6 indeed to double the rooks. a5, I mean rook d to b1 looks like a move. I don't think you want to take on c6 because rook b2 could be dangerous.
I'm not sure. I mean, I would calculate definitely that. I mean, rook c6, rook b2, knight g3, because also the rook on the 6th rank is attacking the pawn at f6. This is something you want to calculate. But then again, the question, of course, is you might be right. Maybe he sees something simpler, right? So, I mean, I see the pawn on c6 can be taken, and he takes it.
And he takes it, and rook b2 is played, knight g3 indeed. That's how it goes.
So only chance for black to try to survive here is somehow double the rooks on the 2nd rank, and that's why he takes on f4. He doesn't really care about the pawn at f4, but he desperately needs this rook e8. Now rook e8 is played, rook c7. Look at that, Angelica.
Oh
King h6, rook takes on h7 is a nice trick. That's why king f8 is played.
King f8, and now you should calculate what happens after knight f6. Is there any idea of rook e2 and trying to save for a draw? That's why Arjun is taking his time in this position, and he's playing on he's taking on d4.
Rook take, of course, you can just take on d4, and what happens after f5?
Knight goes back, and now after check on e1, there is always king f2.
That's it. I mean, white always can play rook c to d7, protect the knight on d2, and this means that black can never double the rooks on the 2nd rank, so that's why here desperation from the Vietnamese grandmaster try to do something g5, but of course it's simply not enough.
Simply not. Absolutely brilliant game, brilliant preparation. As we can see, Arjun knew that from the beginning he's going to have some opportunities to get that queen in the very tricky position. So g4 is played, still some tricks.
Why h4? Why would you want to do that? Because there is no need to push this pawn forward. I think that just play whatever you play, that don't allow black to push g4. Now there's some tricks like f3, g3. You need to be careful. I think white, of course, is still winning, but I'm not sure.
Indeed. I mean, rook e4 is played. Okay, rook d8. I think it's a safe. No, rook d8 trading the rooks. It looks very safe. No.
Rook d8 looks nice. Rook e8 and rook d5.
Ah, rook d5. Okay.
Nothing really dramatically changes. So every guy probably saw all of this. I slightly didn't like it, but yeah, now everything for black simply falls apart at the king's side. An extra piece prevails.
Rook f5. King goes away to e8. And
I think rook
g5
could be the final move. Rook takes on h7. There's nothing to be done.
Yeah, indeed. Rook g8 with a trade of the rooks, and the pawns are simply can march.
I think you can already safely trade rooks because black has absolutely no counterplay.
Absolutely.
Rook g8, rook e8, and I don't
c6,
know,
c7.
Yeah. So Regaisi wins, unless he flags somehow this miraculously. I don't think here the Vietnamese grandmaster has any chance to salvage this game. He protects the pawn on f4. It doesn't really matter. h5, h6, h7 should seal the deal. f3, final chance, but of course, white just takes.
Yeah, the pawns are too strong. We are going to see resignation in a few moments. Yeah, and we see the victory for Arjun Ergaisi. Let's jump into some other game which still ongoing. Let's
Trying
try.
to choose maybe Winston Keimer, the
Yeah.
overall leader, which was board number two, if I saw
was board
correctly.
number 2, exactly.
That's the footage from the previous game, because the camera sometimes is lagging a bit behind. It's going to jump back in a moment. So what do we have here? Keimer has an exchange for 2 pawns. I don't think black is really risking here. So the question is who's actually playing for the win. I have a feeling it's the Frenchman.
Absolutely. The bishop is not possible to, it's not possible to do anything with that pawn. And king is slowly marching towards the a5, a4, a3, trying to promote those pawns. Maybe c5.
Wait a second. Rook d8, rook h8. Is this something that the Frenchman missed? Because now suddenly white collects the pawn on h6.
Oh my God. But there isn't.
There's no camera on Flea again. It's a bit slow today. Sorry about that. So black is now trying to survive this. Easy now. f5, g takes, g5. Both players are desperately playing for the victory here.
In case of rook f6, there could be potentially bishop f5. But now actually bishop takes h3. There will be rook f7 and g6.
All right, we have
Bishop
the feedback.
f5 is indeed played. Bishop f5 and push of the pawn.
Rook f7 here,
Rook-
g6. Oh, it's
Rook-
gonna race.
Rook goes away, king f4.
Again, who is even playing for the win here? No, it's white. No, it's white. Just unbelievable. Because 1 second you couldn't help but wonder maybe it's white who is about to promote. Now it's black who is trying to promote. Now it's white who is trying to promote. Everybody's playing for the win.
Yeah, I think we're going to reach the position where we will have rook against the bishop. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a draw. Because one of the main rules of this position is that black simply positions the king in the corner, puts the bishop in front of it. There is no stalemate trick, no nothing, no zugzwangs. But of course, everybody wants to try it. I mean, everybody wants to test the knowledge of the opponent. Are you sure you know how to draw this?
Absolutely. And the king is in the right corner right now. There will be always bishop g8 as a move. Yeah, trying.
I think he can, of course, legally play this as long as it takes. There's no need to rush. The next round is going to start either way at the scheduled time. I think the common good practice, Angelika, is to play this something like, 30 moves, 40 moves, blitz it out. Okay, fine, I tried it, right? Maybe my opponent flags. Maybe he blunders a mate. Maybe he misses the bishop because white has zero risk here, of course, except for flagging. Actually, speaking about flagging, if white flags, it's still a draw, right?
Yeah.
Quite funny. Because black cannot deliver a legal mate. So this means there's basically no risk whatsoever, no matter what you do. Unless you make an illegal move twice.
Absolutely.
Like not once, twice. Because if you make it once, you get a warning, like extra, how much is it? 1 minute or 2 minutes? I'm not really sure.
I think it's 2 minutes.
I don't know.
Not
I
so
haven't
sure.
checked.
Yeah.
Draw is agreed.
Draw is agreed, and okay, let's see if other games have finished already. I think we have results. This game we are following.
Ergaisi like Wang Liem, Daniel Bogdan Diakta lost to Navarra. Yu Yanyi has played a draw against Amin Bassem, so we have new results incoming. Rook c1, h6, 92. All of this happened in the game. So what else do we have here? Queen a8, rook c7, takes here. Okay, something crazy was going on here. I guess the rook on b7, Angelika, was trapped. Was it though? No, it's not trapped because there's knight g5 check and rook is actually protected. Okay, how you don't win this? Queen c1, queen c6 check.
Rook takes.
Wait, it's just completely winning for white, right? How this game finished in a draw? Really?
What is this?
I mean, he has an extra pawn, an extra piece and 2 pawns.
I don't understand. Maybe he blundered some kind of perpetual.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God! Wait.
Oh dear, oh dear. Drama alert for the Egyptian fans.
How couldn't he see it coming?
I mean, he was, I guess, blitzing it out, having the final seconds, but he extra piece, 2 pawns. I mean, this should be enough. So queen d1, queen f3. Suddenly, black is threatened with a mate. King h, so queen f1 here, tragic. King h4 would be a mate on the board. You simply cannot do that. Wow, this is so rare. This basically never happens at the highest level, and yet it happened here.
This is incredible.
Insane. All right, what else do we have here?
So we have Vincent Kamil and Jules. We looked at this endgame, but we didn't look the game. Okay, doesn't matter. Bogdan Daniel Diak with a loss against Czech Grandmaster David Navarro.
I think we also don't have a lot of time to look at that, but I see the position was more or less balanced and it ended very abruptly. And this means that probably it was the remaining Grandmaster who blundered something. Queen b2, queen e5, rook f2, rook e3. How about that?
So
wow.
oh
That's
my
nice.
God.
I mean, look at that. I mean, queen e5, rook e1 intermezzo check, rook x on e3, rook d1 check. You cannot go to h2, rook f1, leaves the queen on b2 defenseless.
Yeah, incredible blunder by Romanian Grandmaster. And yeah, here's our current overall ranking. We can see that in Blitz, we have a leader, Arjun Erigaisi, who is in overall ranking actually is on the 7th place. We see that Vincent Keimer is still on the 1st, but in Blitz he was not doing so well, but he rehabilitated now with 4.5 points, totally 25.5 points with David Navarro to follow, and Lek Van Gliem on the 3rd place over there.
Yeah, as you can see, of course, Erigaisi is winning the tournament, but it's unfortunately for him not really helping. He's still so far away from the leaders. He has bagged incredible 7.5 points out of 11, showing that he can play some pretty good blitz here. Unfortunately, he already messed up slightly in the previous games in the other tournament. Time controls.
Absolutely. Let's check the pairings for the next round. We are having Yu Yang Gi against Arjun Erigaisi, the current leader, Lek Van Gliem against Bogdan Daniel Diak, David Navarro against Vincent Keimer. The overall leaders, maybe we could follow that game, Jules Mussard against Bassem Amin.
Which game once again?
Against our leaders, David Navarro against Vincent Keimer, or
right.
Arjun Erigaisi.
Actually, it's a tough choice because two leaders are playing against each other. It's the Blitz tournament leaders, Erigaisi against Yu Yanyi, and indeed Vincent Keimer against David Navarro. But I think we haven't seen Navarro for quite a while, so this is a game we'd love to jump. Which game is it again?
Board number 3, we have David Navarro against Vincent Keimer. We're going to check that game.
All right.
For sure.
Hopefully the camera is going to spring back to the action. This is a footage from the previous game. Still a lag. Don't you worry about that. And there we go. Navarro is sitting at the board and waiting for his opponent. 3 more games to go.
Absolutely. And yeah, David Navarro also had quite a rough start together with Vincent Keimer. If you remember that game, they were facing against each other. Vincent Keimer had half a point. David Navarro had 1 point. And here we see Vincent arriving to the board.
Do I see correctly? Vincent is playing with the jacket?
But I think he's removing it before the...
Right, I think it's too much, right? I mean, you're playing a long Blitz tournament, 14 rounds with the jacket. I mean, you need definitely to make swift reflexes, fast moves. But again, I mean, I was upstairs, Angelica, right? Of course, I go there every day to check out how it looks, and it's actually quite nice. There's very, very nice temperature. It's a large hall, a lot of players, and it's really good for players.
Even though there is actually an open Blitz tournament being played at the same time with the Grandmaster Triathlon Blitz, so they're playing there all together in one big playing hall, but the temperature is good, it's not hot for the players, they can comfortably play, and yeah, it's also great for people who are playing their Blitz to enjoy Grandmaster Triathlon being played at the same time.
So, 3 more games. I think that Keimer should be pretty happy how the tournament has turned out because, again, he had this bad start being an overall leader. He lost 3 games in a row in the Blitz tournament, which allowed the Vietnamese Grandmaster Lek Van Gliem climb up to the leaders. However, the last year's triathlon winner, Lek Van Gliem, was unable to keep the pace. And that's why in the Blitz tournament, he has fallen in the 3rd place after bagging 5.5 out of 7, what is it? He has scored half a point out of the last 4 games. So clearly the last US winner has lost the momentum. And this is giving some relief moment for also Keimer because he's still leading the overall rankings by 2 points.
Absolutely, and yeah, even though Arjun is trying to rehabilitate, he's still on the one of the last spots in the overall rankings. We'll see how it will change after the Blitz tournament. Maybe he will also start winning in the classical event after the rest day. We will see that later.
And they're waiting for something, not really sure. Maybe there's something unparalleled happening in the hall. This gives some chance for the players to take some breath. Because the schedule, once again, is pretty tough, right? There's 2 very small breaks. I think the second one already finished. It was after round 10. Now this already is round 12. So 3 more games to go. I think what also we could promise you that we are going to definitely have some players here with us in the interview. Unlike this big interview screen, instead we are going to invite them here to sit with us because I think it's going to be slightly easier for them to go through the games on a computer and explain their critical moments of the most interesting games.
And games are starting 1d4. We have already on the board the Nimzo Indian with e3.
That's sharp, of course. Navarra is looking for a big fight here. This bishop d3, d5, c takes, knight g2. This is a very popular continuation lately, really double-edged. White sometimes is thinking about short castle, f3, e4, maybe even f3, g4 ideas, and get a very interesting game.
Absolutely, and bishop goes back to d6. Very logical because bishop doesn't have anything to do there on b4 anymore. Sometimes black is waiting for his 3 move, but here Vincent just played bishop d6.
I think the idea actually is to play c5 because if you play c5 immediately or b6 c5, then a white could include a3 and the bishop on b4. You already basically have to take on c3. So here the bishop on d6. Actually, it's an interesting moment here because black could potentially execute this Greek gift. Bishop takes on h2. Bishop h2, king h2, knight g4 check, followed by queen h4. Apparently here it does not work, but in the Blitz game, well, I would play probably h3 just to make sure that I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's not playing it. He's playing a rook c1, c5 is played. Maybe by opponents it's already the part of preparation and analyzed this position that it doesn't work, this bishop h2.
Right, I think bishop h2 doesn't work because of king h2, knight g4, king g3, and that's why knight f4 now is played. This offers a temporary pawn sacrifice. Bishop f4, e takes on f4, c takes on d4, knight b5. White gets a nice control of the central squares, and of course that's why this is never going to happen.
Absolutely, and yeah, we're waiting for Vincent to decide what to do here.
Bishop b7 makes sense. The pawn on d5, is it really under attack? Not really sure. Maybe he needs to play c4, close the action. Big decision. Wait, he takes
bishop
an
f4 and
oh wait, bishop a6. This is what he wants.
He wants to trade the bishops because the bishop on his 3 is more...
No.
No, he doesn't want to trade bishops. Okay. A little bit confusing us.
I mean, okay, it makes sense, of course, but I wouldn't have guessed. I guess the young German simply recognized this idea from his prep because he has 2 minutes and almost 20 seconds on the clock. So you don't improvise, you simply show what you know. But I think that's the main difference, I think, sometimes compared with the club level players, even though it seems they're improvising, they're trying to play out the systems that they know.
Yeah, they try to recall what was in this preparation, the similar structure, similar ideas. Knight before is played bishop b1 is very logical, obviously, and now bishop a6 trying to get that bishop out, but rook e1 is played. And here the question is if there is bishop d3?
Or knight e3. Now the big question is, how do you execute this idea? Knight e3, bishop d3, that's a really nice square we'll want to use. But then again, if you jump there with one of your pieces, for example, like knight e3, you need to calculate what happens, takes, and bishop e3. Attacking the bishop on d3 and also the pawn on c5. I guess we are going to find it out.
Indeed, knight e3 is played. You normally have to take here, right? Or take on e8, yeah? This is possible.
Unless I'm wrong, I think that Winston
Take on
simply
E8?
blundered. I think he blundered,
Take
no?
on the 8.
Bishop d3, bishop d3, bishop e3. What's your idea? I
Bishop
don't see how do
S3.
you defend the pawn.
Mm,
Yeah, he blundered. I mean, you can definitely see from the body language, he's, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's not very happy. I'm not sure what he missed. I thought that was pretty obvious. I was thinking about how to prepare this idea. But again, I mean, it's easy to say, oh, wait, there's c4. What
and
I'm
C4, yeah, I was going to ask you about
He didn't
C4.
blunder nothing. I'm the one who is blundering. He didn't blunder nothing. All right, bishop d4 is played.
Bishop d4, but okay, at least white managed to get some squares, you know, d4. And you never can take on b3 because bishop on d3 is under attack by the queen. Rook d8. The question was, what do you do here with white?
Well, despite the fact that we have obstacle bishops on the board, this position could still escalate because f3, okay, that's a nice move, taking care of the e4 and g4 squares. I'm thinking, can white at some point play something like b4? b4, a4, b5, etc. It's a very tough choice because, I mean, white organizes also a pass pawn on the queen side, but also leaves black with two connected pass pawns in the center. I'm not sure, to be honest. I mean, you simply have to trust your gut instinct.
To be honest, I like position of white because knight and bishop are perfectly protecting, blocking the pawn pushes, so it possibly an idea to push for b4, a4, b5. But no, he's playing queen e1.
I get the word that there's something exciting happening Yu game. What do you think, Angelika? Should we switch this or?
Okay, we can switch. We can check.
Okay, maybe
What
let's keep this on the camera and maybe let's please briefly.
Wow!
Whoa!
What is going on?
Let's jump to this game. This is something crazy.
Exactly. So because the boss players are also leaders, but leaders of the Blitz tournament. Indeed, something exciting is going on. Arjun is fully attacking. He sacrificed. What did he sacrifice? Actually,
He has sacrificed a lot. He has sacrificed two pieces. I don't think we have time to go back, but the big question here is, does black have a mate? Queen h3, king f2, knight g4, king e1. Where's the mate? Where's the mate? I mean, queen h4 maybe?
He didn't really sacrifice. There is a rook for two pieces, right?
Oh, that's it? That's a queen.
Oh, that's a queen.
Rook h1 decides the game.
Oh my God.
Brilliant game. I mean, whatever happened, of course, we are going to check it after that. So let's jump back to Keimer's game. We only saw the final moments of the game of Yu against Erigaisi. Erigaisi bags another victory.
Okay, so here we have bishop g6 is played, trying to block that idea of rook e8, queen g7 checkmate.
So, is he going to gather the courage to play b4? I'm not sure. Maybe not, because b4 feels very double-edged.
And now knight c7 is played, trying to protect the pawn. Bishop d3 and g4.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, if I was trying to play f5, I think f5 has to be played to limit the knight on c7. Otherwise, knight e6 is a big idea. The bishop on d4 is a monster bishop. You want to trade it. 5 is on the board.
f5 is on the board. There was an idea to bring the queen to g5 attacking. Knight b5, okay. What are you doing with your trading? Yes.
White is definitely having an advantage here because this bishop on d4 feels more powerful. He has mate threats. Now the big question, should he push f6? I think he should, and f6 on the board. If black plays g6, you need to watch out rook e7, queen h4, queen h6, mate on the g7.
Absolutely, or queen can go from anywhere, from d2, from h4. There are many ideas, and he didn't play it, but instead, take on g7 happened and b4.
Yeah, he sacrificed the pawn. I mean, it was not an easy choice by the tournament overall leader, but he felt that he could not allow white to use this weakness on h6. Now we have a queen trade. Okay, that's interesting. And obstacle bishop endgame. Is this enough for Navarra to win the game?
The thing here is that king for now cannot move, and push of the pawn is not really happening, right? You cannot really push the pawn and move the king. Can he find some plan?
Well, this is super unclear. I mean, I cannot immediately tell because h6 by Vincent. Are you sure that was necessary? Because I thought he needs to make a fortress here. c2, king d2. Okay, I guess It's heading to a draw after all. I think that Navarra missed some chances here. It looked very promising, but again, yeah, now it's just a draw.
Now it's just a draw. Okay, for sure there was some chance there. Let's see if any other game is still ongoing. We have
Jules Massard beat Amin Bassam.
Le Quang Liam still playing against Bogdan Daniel Diak. We have Rook and the Knight endgame with extra pawn for black and actually very, very nice attack.
And that's a beautiful position to have for the remaining Grandmaster like Quang Liam.
Wow.
He could potentially lose already yet another game because, again, remember, the first round of the 7 games, Le Quang Liam was leading the tournament at 5.5 points. Then he has only made, what? No, he won the previous game. My apologies. I think I miscalculated something.
Yes, his 3 was pushed very powerful. Now
I think
trade
I
on
missed the previous
B2.
victory. So he has managed to recover and...
Yeah, King B1 is played, so White is trying to take that pawn. Or there, I think it's going to come to a draw. But
Right, the extra pawn is gone. Rook D7 attacks the knight. Yeah, even if black wins the pawn on A3, it's simply not enough.
you have to be careful about some knight C6 nasty ideas.
What about
but
knight E2?
Yeah,
okay, there was
draw.
no knight E2 apparently.
Draw was agreed.
That's the final game.
Okay.
So, I think that was the final game of round 12. This game is not yet showing in the results, so let's go through this particular game since we're here at the moment.
Okay, so
Another Cosmet. Why there's such a love for the Cosmet? Can somebody explain to me? A3, 92, bishop G3. Very double-edged, but I see that White has a potential weakness on F5. Knight F1, Knight G3. Now Queen. I would have thought you want to position there a knight,
yeah,
not the
exactly.
queen. Okay, he had different ideas in his mind. Rook H4, G5. Eyeballing for the weakness on F7. F4. This maneuver by the Vietnamese Grandmaster we already have seen today, against who he played this against Argenary Gaisi very early in the tournament. Rook H6, here, so it looks about balanced. And look at that, he sacrificed the pawn seeking for some counterplay, and he just gave up a pawn for nothing.
Pawn pushed all the way to E3.
Yeah, so Diak was pushing. He was pushing very hard, but he was unable to keep the pawn. No, he did. He did win it back, and this is how they got here.
Yeah, and from here we already followed the game. Okay, should we look any other game?
I think so. We have a little time. I hope so. So maybe one more game, perhaps. Yeah, maybe let's check this brilliancy. How did this happen?
let's check how did it go.
So Najdorf, if you want brilliancies, play Najdorf.
Exactly.
Dragadorf, or what is it? All right, looks all right. Oh, there you go.
H4.
H4, G4.
Knight G4.
Boom.
Boom happened on the board.
And why not bishop F3? Because of knight D5. Well, look
Oh
at
my
that.
god.
Bishop H1 is H2, King G2, and Bishop G4. You see all kinds of unpleasantry there.
But if bishop F3, knight E5, knight D4.
Maybe rook takes on C3. Bishop F3, knight E5, knight E4, rook C3. I don't know. I mean, it's a mess. So he played F3, like he says, you can take my pawn, but not my position. Arigaisi declined, kindly. White insists. Arigaisi declines again. F4. And there you go, there's the sacrifice. Another sacrifice. F takes, bishop H3. Take an F1, queen E3, and knight E5. Brilliant game. I mean, what could I say? Have a material balance on the board with a very strong attack. This is where he found this beautiful idea. Rook H1, sealing the deal.
Absolutely. And we have some idea from the chat if you would like. Okay, we checked this game, Jules Moussard against Bassem Amin.
Did we?
No, we will check. Now we will check.
Yeah. We haven't yet checked, I think. How much time do we have? I have no idea. When did
We
the
have
plan
6
start?
minutes.
6 minutes still, yeah?
So we have time to check.
But they're ahead of the schedule, no? So let's keep an eye on the board so that we're not missing it. So Bassem once again placed Ray Lopez, this time not a 5. Yeah, this is a dubious line, I think, but again in Blitz, why not? You're looking for some sharp possibilities, some Benoni-like structure. Queen f3, c4, rook d1, white is thinking about pushing e4, e5. The pawn on h3 probably doesn't matter, and the Frenchman thought the same. e5, h5. Take on d6, take
The
on f6.
pawns are
Just too good, simply
the pawns
too
are
good.
too good. Yeah.
And basically that's it. All right.
There is an offer in the game of David Navarro to check one position on the move 35 because he missed this win.
Move 35.
Yes. There was a3 instead of.
Here. a3. Wow.
Incredible.
Wow, a3. I mean, look at that.
But of course, it's very complicated and they had last seconds.
Wow, that's nice. You know, I'm not sure what was happening here. Okay, a3, that's a brilliant move, you know, brilliant move. Could have been one of the most beautiful moves of the Blitz tournament. But here, I think that Keimer actually made a mistake. I mean, this h6. Was it a good move? Because I don't think that Black was trying White was trying to play h6 anyway. But okay, I mean, h6 maybe didn't spoil nothing, but I thought that the pawn on h6 might become a target at some point later. You know, I'm not sure why bishop c5 was not played here. Wait, bishop c5, king g7. Okay, maybe it's still a draw.
But I'm just wondering, why not to bring the king somewhere to
Okay,
and then push
I
the
think
pawns?
we have
Yeah,
no time
okay.
for this game anymore. Let's very quickly check the rankings and jump back to the games.
When we have still Vincent Keimer leading the overall rankings with 26 points, David Navarro is behind him, Lech van Gliem on the 3rd place. We see that Arjun Erigaisi is the leader of the Blitz tournament right now with 8.5 points. And here we see that he might be caught only if someone is going to win 2 games and he's going to lose 2 games.
And this is the pairing for the penultimate round of the Blitz tournament. Musar plays Yu Yanyi, Bassem, David Navarra, Vincent Keimer, Lech van Gliem, Daniel Bogdan-Diak, Arjun Erigaisi. I already see the game is live. Why it should be live, not really sure. Maybe let's follow the leader of the overall ranking, Vincent Keimer against Lech van Gliem. What do you think, Angelique?
Absolutely. Let's jump there.
All right. So, what can we expect from this game? Some sort of a revenge, perhaps, the Vietnamese Grandmaster is looking for? Because in the overall rankings, he is trailing his young colleague by a couple of points. I have the wrong
Need
board,
board
right?
number 3.
Yeah, I think I selected the wrong board. There you go. I'm going to fix it. So he
Okay.
is trailing his young colleague from Germany by 2.5 points. Which is essentially a half a point difference in the classical tournament. So he needs this victory, and this will be really nice, sweet revenge for him for suffering this inflicted loss by Keimer in the classical tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see very soon the players at the board.
I think they're
Yeah.
not there yet, or the camera feed perhaps is lagging. Not sure. We are going to see.
I think the king should be for sure not in the middle of the board. So, yeah, we're going to
That's right.
have the video very, very soon. We see the players are arrived, magically appeared at the board, preparing for the match.
Big, big, big game here for both players. Keimer has only 7th place in the Blitz tournament, by the way. Slightly disappointing. But what's more important, he is keeping the lead in overall rankings. So I think that this is what Vincent cares about. Okay, for him, the Blitz tournament didn't really start so well. 0 out of 3, he managed to recover. Everything is great. Yeah, it looks like he is in a good mood and ready to face the last year's champion.
And look at this, actually, on the 2nd place, we have immediately 3 players with 6.5 points. So everything can happen. And we see knight f3, d4. Again, e3 is played. the main weapon.
Slightly offbeat continuation, exactly what you want for Blitz. Knight e7, the Vietnamese Grandmaster immediately tries to clarify White's intentions. e5, Keimer allows e5 to be played.
And here he's not pushing d4, he's playing a3, not allowing knight to come to b4. Bishop d6 is played, protecting the pawn.
Yeah, and there's a mention in the chat. I had trouble to calculate the points that Liem has only 1 out of 5 in the second round, and the suggestion is maybe he's tired. Maybe, indeed. I mean, it's a tough tournament, right? I mean, every round you're playing 2700 level player. And I think, Angelika, it has something to do with this momentum. So you gain this momentum, right? You start to score 1, 2, 3 victories in a row. You feel invincible, right?
Absolutely.
And then you lose a game, you blunder something, you lose the confidence, and then you could easily lose several games in a row.
We have 2 rounds to go left, only 2 rounds, so players have to try to rehabilitate and because it is very important for our rankings to have this extra push. We see how many players got an extra points very badly needed for it. For example, Arjun Erigaisi being on the 7th place in overall rankings, taking lead in Blitz and bringing 8.5 points so far.
All right, Black's position looks pretty solid. We have some sort of a Sicilian con. Again, colors reversed. The bishop on b2. Now d3 is played. Okay, I like this position, although there's nothing wrong with Black. Very similar, we had a game in the classical section where Daniel Bogdan-Diak was playing with White against Navarra. Navarra opted for bishop g4, bishop h5, bishop g6, and at some point included a5. a5 is played also here.
B takes a5 is played. It was, I think, played exactly like this, right? So
No, I think it was b5. a5, b5, a4, but slightly different pawn structure. Show castle. Yeah, White decides not to keep the pawn on b4. So again, typical Scheveningen position.
Castle. Okay, what Black will play? There potentially could be some e4 push.
Yeah, I don't know. h6. So again, this is a very careful approach. I mean, like Wang Liam is too experienced to rush with things. Rook d1. Keimer says, I also have ideas here. So he's thinking about perhaps d4, e4, knight e5.
Bishop g4 is played, developing that bishop, and at some moment, maybe considering take. Okay, h3, immediately clarifying situation. Bishop h5.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe knight h4 could be a move, not allowing Black to retreat. No, knight e4, that's a nice move, centralizing the knight. And one of the things that I love about these positions is that White voluntarily allows Black to double the pawns on e4. But this opens the d file and opens the bishop on e2, giving a very nice pressure to some of the critical central squares.
Absolutely, and here we have bishop c7, removing it back so far. It looks like everything is under control.
Of course, I mean, nobody has made yet any mistakes. Knight c5 looks perfectly playable, trying to, provoke some weaknesses. Maybe rook b1 looks interesting. Maybe Keimer here is thinking about what to do with this bishop on h5, some sort of knight e1. No, it just looks weird. I would play perhaps knight c5 or rook b1. Yeah, big moment here.
Huge moment indeed for decision
Knight g3.
from Vincent.
Knight g3 is also a move.
Knight g3 is a move. Knight c5 was played.
Queen e7. As you can see, these players, they're not waiting for their opponents to come up with something and then be surprised. The Vietnamese Grandmaster already expected knight c5.
Absolutely. So what's happening? Knight b7.
Rook b5. Queen c6 is impossible because the bishop on b2 is under attack.
Knight is trapped. So that's why. Question is d4?
Yeah, d4 is e4. Again, you need to evaluate that very, very carefully. d4, e4, knight e5, take on e2, queen e2, bishop e5, the knight on c5 is hanging, and that's why Keimer plays knight b3. I think he wants to play d4 next move. Does he know? Maybe he doesn't have to. But d4, e4, knight e5 makes sense.
Indeed it does. Rook a8 goes back. Knight maneuvers itself to c4, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they're toying with those maneuvers, not really willing to take any risk, because for Keimer this is an important game, of course, but This kind of play could backfire because you want to make a decision at some point, and you can see the Vietnamese Grandmaster is a bit faster. He has 1.5 minutes on the clock, while Camera already is down to 46 seconds.
Queen b3, so he's trying to take control over the e4 square with that knight on d2. Queen b7 is sometimes an idea. For now it's not working because the queen will be almost trapped there, or rook or bishop on b2 will be hanging. Rook a7 protecting, securing the pawn. Rook a to c1 is played. Knight d7.
A lot of maneuvers.
A lot of
I
action.
guess that both players feel the importance of this game overall in overall rankings because, for example, if Liam loses, this could be a major blow to his chances to defend the title. So that's why he's seeking for this chance. Also for Keimer, he knows that he cannot afford to lose this game. I mean, of course, it's not a tragedy for him, but this would allow his opponent to climb even closer. And that's why they're being so careful, you know, seeking the weaknesses of the opponent's plan.
Of course, one game here in Blitz is only 1 point, but altogether 14 games, so it's 14 points which could be potentially taken. Of course, it's almost impossible to win all the games, and knight d7 is played.
I have a feeling it's going to end in a draw because none of the players seems to be ready to take any risks. They're shuffling the pieces here and there, here and there, here and there. Nothing really is changing. But in the end, it might be one of them who is going to take the charge and risk it all.
Look at the time, 20 seconds for Vincent. We have almost a minute for Lek Wang Liam. So Vincent is getting into time trouble. Knight a4, bishop a1.
Knight c5 could be a move, attacking the queen, also the pawn on a3. I think this is what the Vietnamese Grandmaster is looking at right now. That's on the board. Knight c5, I guess queen c4, knight e7, bishop b2. I think we already had this position more or less a couple of moves ago.
Yeah, position is kind of repeating. Knight is jumping back to b6. Again, knight a4 could be played.
Vincent decides to change the game. So he plays e4, d4. He's had it enough. And that's why I said it was perhaps not such a good idea to delay this decision for so long. I mean, he was shuffling the pieces here and there, going in circles. And finally, he had it enough.
He had it enough, and here he's going for a d4 trade on d4 has happened. Bishop d4 attacking the rook. That's why c5 was played, and now bishop has to retreat. Probably it's bishop a1 was played, knight e6. Everything is happening so quickly. The both players are getting the time trouble.
Hugely important game here, and again, the quality of the moves in the next moves is going to be very, very important. Knight c4, I'm not sure. I would have thought about bishop c4, knight g5, black counterattacks upon on a4.
Knight trade is happening over there on g5. So now rook e1.
I think the position is still balanced. Wait a second, b5, c4 looks very strong.
b5, what are you doing with the knight there? Knight
Not
e3,
sure.
knight e3, the pawn is hanging on e4. Wait a second.
Bishop e4 is the move, queen e4 is the move, c4, knight e5. This is getting really sharp. Knight e5 is also a move.
Oh my god, what is going on?
The pawn is gone.
Oh my god, the pawn is gone.
So here, black is up a pawn. He has two connected pawns at the queen side, but it is white who grabs it back with bishop takes on c4.
Bishop takes on c4, bishop a5, trying to counterattack over there, the rook on e1. And now rook c8, trying to somehow activate the pieces.
I lost the moment for, what happened here. Did Winston just lost an exchange? What happened? Because we got the move so quickly that I couldn't really follow. Still, nothing is over because he has beautiful bishops on b2 and a2. Maybe bishop b3 is a move. Knight c5, knight e4. I think the Vietnamese Grandmaster is about to win this game.
Yeah, it's very much possible. I think it happened when bishop attacked the rook on e1 and Vincent allowed to trade, to take that rook. Rook a7, pinning that rook and trading happening.
A lot of tactical tricks are possible here. Takes. Black is
Rook
in
takes fc3. Oh my god, resignation is on the board.
Big victory for Lek Wang Liam.
Huge one. Let's jump into some other game. We have Jules Moussard against Yu Yang on the board number 1. Knight e3 check. What is this? 2 pawns for black against one poor little pawn on d4.
The big question is if white can salvage this position. I hope the camera is going to jump back into action for a moment.
I think Maybe is it possible that the game finished in a draw because
Right,
it's a
yeah, there's a
checked,
trap on the repetition.
trap on
They
repetition.
haven't simply updated the result. This is the game we just saw. Amin Bassem lost to David Navara. And also Daniel Bogdanyak has lost to Arjun Rigaisi. All games of the round number 13 are finished.
It means we are having the winner of the Blitz tournament already. Arjun Rigaisi with 9.5 points. No one can catch him with 1 round to go.
Absolutely insane performance. He has like 3 points more than the second place right now. If only, Angelika, Arjun had played it a bit better in the classical tournament and the rapid tournament. He's trying to do whatever he can. He's playing brilliant chess here in the Blitz tournament. So we'll see, of course, what kind of influence it's going to have on the overall rankings. I think it's also time for us to check what's happening in the overall rankings, because I see the players are arriving at the board and probably already ready to start the final round.
And here we have still Vincent Keimer leading the overall rankings with 26 points. We have David Navara with 24 points in the second place. Le Quang Lia with 23.5 points. Yuan Yi slightly less. And we see that still on the last places is Arjun Rigaisi with 16.5 points. But in Blitz, he's winning.
So the final round of the Blitz tournament is as follows. Yuan Yi faces Daniel Bogdanyak. Eric Gaisi, Vincent Keimer. Again, I think this is the game we definitely want to follow. I mean, I know we are following quite a bit of Keimer's games, but he is leading the tournament overall. The leader of the Blitz tournament, the winner of the Blitz tournament, faces the overall leader of the GMT. And Le Quang Liem against Amin Bassem, David Navara against Jules Mussar.
Absolutely, we're going to follow the games of both leaders. First one is the leader of the Blitz portion of the Grandmaster Triathlon, and the second one is the leader of, so far, overall rankings.
All right, let's see if we can get it to see. I think that's game number 2. All right. Well, actually, it is
Maybe we have a break?
point difference.
Yeah, 2-point difference.
No, it's 2-point difference. I saw
Yes.
it wrongly. I think the results were indeed not updated. Sorry about that. It's not 3-point difference. Yeah, I was wondering, how come it's only 3 points, right?
Yes.
Insane. All right. No, it's 2-point difference. So Le Quang Liem is still in the second place. All right, whatever happened, not sure. But what is clear is that Eric Gaisi has won the tournament.
I think the pairings, the round is going to start at 18:20.
18:20. All right. If that is indeed the case, and we are having something like 8 minutes, what we could do, we could just take a deep breath before the next round, make it like 5 minutes, put the overview camera on the big screen so that all of you can follow. In case they're going to start earlier, of course, also we are going to start earlier. So don't go anywhere. See you very soon in something like 5 minutes. And
Yeah,
hope
see
you're
you.
enjoying the coverage so far. See you.
See you in a
5 minutes.
moment.
The games are starting, so we are not going to wait until the timer expires. Let's jump immediately to the action. And it's the most important game, probably, of the tournament. Arjun Rigaisi playing against Vincent Keimer.
We know already Arjun basically won the Blitz tournament, but Vincent Keimer is current overall leader still. Is he going to be able to grab the point from the Indian superstar?
All right, and we had a slight mix-up in overall rankings. Vincent Keimer is in overall lead still with 26 points, but it's David Navarra who is trailing by only 1 point. Le Quang Liem is behind by 1/2 point, so it's very, very narrow race. And in the end, of course, this game decides who is in the lead of the overall rankings. And then we are going to have 3 more classical rounds in the end of the tournament, who becomes the champion of 2023 GMT tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have here Bishop a7 played. What was the trade on G4, actually? Something happened there.
Something happened. I'm not sure we have time for that. D-Dex on C5 is a very common trick because white includes the trade to play E3, E4, long castle, and chances for a kingside attack. Because look at that. Black cannot easily castle short because G4, G5 suddenly becomes a big thing.
And E4 is played here, immediately striking in the center. What to do for black? Because the E-D5 threat is real. Do you want to castle?
Not sure. I have a move also D4. You need to calculate that very quickly indeed. D4, knight B3, queen B6. What happens there? A lot of trades. I think that black is keeping an eye on this G4, G5 threat, and he's not going to castle short for the moment.
Absolutely. So what are you going to do here? So just straight?
No, I don't think so, because then black gets a very strong bishop on d4, knight b3, queen b6, then I'm not sure what's going to happen. I think queen b6 should be played, nothing else. Is there some tricks here? What about, can I go crazy? D-Dex on c3, knight c5, c-Dex on b2. Wait, and queen a5 check? Just a second. D-Dex, knight c5, c-Dex on b2, queen a5 check, attack. You go away, I take on c5, I take on b7, and you can see Keimer sees this. He's calculating this right now.
He's calculating is absolutely. This is something amazing, which might happen.
Rigaisi also is making sure his response after D-Dex on c3 should be immediately ready. Both of them they're looking at the shot right now. D-Dex on c3, huge move. You can't afford to make a mistake here. Perhaps the Indian player already will have to respond with B-Dex on c3.
And then there will be a weakness on c3, so that's quite an achievement for black to create this weak pawn there on c3.
Wait. D-Dex, knight c5, c-Dex on b2, queen b2, queen f5 check, king e2, queen c5, queen g7, there's a move, attack at rook on h8. Big decision, and it's on the board.
It's on the board, we have the take on c5, now Vincent has to take on b2, right? What else to
Queen
play?
a5 also could be a move. Perhaps, wait a second, queen a5 first, not c-Dex on b2. So Vincent hasn't yet made up his mind. He sees the idea.
But knight b7 after?
And c-Dex on b2 check?
Ah, yes. The queen is promoting.
I think queen a5, but wait, queen a5 is b4. Queen a5, b4, queen b4, knight b3, and now there's no c-Dex on b2. And c-Dex on b2, that's why it's played on the board.
And that's what we have, queen a5 check. White has to protect from the check, and queen c5 is to follow.
I think king e2 definitely will be played. Rigaisi is relying on this queen x and g7 counter-attack. Again, queen c5, queen c7, queen g7, I guess rook f8.
King e7 is probably...
Oh, you're right. King e7 is definitely a move. King e7, rook h6. The rook's trade, the black king is weak, and that's why rook f8 is played on the board. But look at the clock, Vincent. He spent all of this time to try to calculate this very critical line. He has only 48 seconds, and it's the leader of the Blitz tournament, Rigaisi, having an extra minute in a very complicated position.
Yeah, he knows that Rigaisi is doing very, very well, so he should have went maybe for some more solid option, because the position is getting very, very sharp. Rook h6 is there possible. Rook c1 he's playing first. Always there is a take on h6. a2 pawn he has to take care of. Something like rook c2 might be played. Rook c2 in case of knight b4, there is always a check on c8.
I have a feeling, Angelica, that Winston shouldn't have done this. It was so tempting, and I think I remember one of the games of the Chess 960. Winston was playing against Lequang Liam, I think. There was this beautiful queen sacrifice. And once you see a beautiful queen sacrifice, something exciting, you just can't help it. You want to play this. And maybe this entire sequence that the young German played, it was not exactly the best choice.
And night before, indeed, was played trade of the rooks on the c8 and bishop b5 check right now. What do you do with the king? Is it knight c6, bishop d7, or moving? I mean, you cannot really move the king. Bishop d7 is played. Wait a second.
You can't win the rook, bishop d7, king d7, queen f8, queen d3, check, king e1, knight c2, checkmate
Oh
on
my
the board.
God.
These players are sharp. They're seeing these things. Rook d1 check. I think that Keimer is simply losing here because rook d1 check looks incredibly strong. I don't know, maybe king e7, he's somehow still in the game, but the black king is much more weaker than the white king.
Absolutely. Rook d1 is played immediately on the board. Check. King e7 has to be played to protect the rook because there are no more tricks of the checkmate ideas. And now the question is, what do you play? Maybe just simply king f1?
Or maybe rook d2, maybe queen
rook
h6.
d2, correct.
There's a lot of good moves. Maybe e5 with queen f6. I think you're already looking here for the killer blow. I mean, e5, queen a2, king f1, queen c4 check, king g1, queen f6 is a big threat. But every guy plays king f1 immediately.
King f1 immediately just hiding the king, and now maybe something like knight e5 is always a threat to go over there. Rook d7 with rook d7 to follow.
I think
what
e5
about
looks... Oh, wait, queen h6 maybe? Difficult to calculate very quickly, right? Okay, queen h6, king g1.
queen d4 was played and queen a6 check, and now
10 seconds for the young German. I mean, I think he's already regretting. I mean, okay, he definitely regrets he went for that position, but you
queen
have to move
d7
on.
is a move, king f6.
Attack
And
the pawn
now
on h6.
queen d2 back, attacking the pawn on h6, wanted to grab it with a check.
I guess king g7 has to be played. 5 seconds for Keimer. Queen h6 seems to be an easy move. There's nothing wrong with grabbing the pawn.
King f7 back, king e7 back, and now queen h6 is on the board, knight c6. e5 is a move.
Normally, these positions, Angelica, are winning for white. Why is this? Because white is the one who has the attack. I mean, black has the material balance. g6, I think that's it. Oh, wait, the rook is under attack. You can't do that. That's why rook f1 is played.
Rook f1 is played, and now there is a g6, and g6 is played.
That looks crushing. That looks crushing. I mean, black's defenses are barely holding together. Knight e5 already looks killing here. Knight e5, rook d6. Where's the defense? There's no defense.
Still
I don't see
trying.
any defense here. Queen f7, king d8. Where's the win? Queen c8 or king c7, knight g6. You have to calculate that. Queen f6, threatened with a mate on h8.
Now he has to play a move, king d8 very quickly. On the last second, he's playing a move. Rook goes back, queen check.
Or what about
Well-
queen a1? Queen a1 threatening rook c3, and that's on the board. Knight e4, all kinds of threats, all kinds of forks. Rook c1, Keimer is losing material.
And here we have the exchange up for the Indian Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi. Knight c6 is played. What a move.
Of course, probably if this game indeed finishes as it finishes, this is going to be a disappointing end for the German because he lost a very important final game. This might cost him the leadership in the overall rankings. But of course, let's continue to watch the amazing form of the Indian superstar.
Yeah, check, and the pawn, e-pawn is being pushed. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
I
That's
think
going
he's
to
easily
be
going to do this. This rook is too much
too strong. Yeah.
Too strong for the rook. G4, G5, G6. The black pawns are not marching forward. The extra exchange, of course, helps.
It feels like he's going to shake the hand in any moment. G7, king f5. Okay.
But of course, I mean, you
Of
have to
course.
fight it out. Rook b6, rook a6, take the pawn on a5, maybe hope for some final tricks. There's no need to resign. This is the final game of the Blitz game. That's it. You have to fight it out.
King f6, check, and king is just coming into the game. And that's
Just take on
going
e7.
to be, yeah.
It even didn't happen.
Could have taken.
He takes it, and that's going to
It
be a
takes
resignation.
it, and it's going to
In
be,
g6, basic opposition.
yeah. And the current overall ranking or leader resigns. Let's see if we have any other games still ongoing. We have result Lequang Liam won against Bassam Amin. We have still game, David Navarro against Jules Moussard with an exchange up.
That's the footage from the previous round. Give it a second, it's gonna update.
King
about that.
G4 is played attacking the pawn.
Wait, am I having the right camera feed? Which board is it?
It is board number 4.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. All right, that's again some old footage. This should be a draw normally because black has excellent chances to set up a fortress. But of course, white is the one who has all the fun. King E7, King E8, try to get to the pawn on F7. Black always plays knight G5.
King is trying to get to E8, trying to attack that pawn, but once king will be there, there'll be always intermediate move. Now rook goes somewhere to F3, attacking that pawn on F7, rook F6.
Right, rook F6 is played, and here white is playing for some tricks.
And now the king is just repeating, is it just going to be a fortress?
All right. King E7. No, it's definitely a fortress, so it's all about the tricks. Ah, wait, knight H7, E6, F takes, rook G6, and king F7. It could be
Wait
win,
a
actually.
second.
Wait a second. Knight F3 is already the only move here, not to lose. No, there's some
This
tricks.
is something, this is very close.
No, it's very close. Now, look at this knight on F3. He managed to misplay it.
And now rook comes to somewhere A4,
Rook A4, rook F8.
and
black
he's
wins.
winning. And he's winning the
Yeah,
pawn
you
and
can
winning
see
the game.
Frenchman is so unhappy. How did I mess
Absolutely.
this up? Of
Incredible.
course. I mean, in time trouble, all kinds of weird things happen. E7 now simply promotes, and
And almost the chair is falling for David Navarro as he wins this game.
right.
And I think he's catching up with the Vincent Keimer actually in overall rankings.
So that's it. The Blitz tournament is officially finished. Let's wait us for the final results. What you're seeing here on the small screen is unofficial, but Eric Geisy did win his game, right? He has 10.5 points, scoring a big victory in the final round against Vincent Keimer. Let's see if we can get it already immediately here. There you go. The big results are going to come in a moment. At least we can see that Eric Geisy, Wang Liem, and David Navarra were with Yu Yanyi were the best Blitz players today.
Yeah, absolutely, and that helped them for sure to come up to the leaders, to the or fight for the leadership in the overall rankings. We can maybe check it out, the overall rankings.
I think we can, so let's immediately jump to that. As you can see, David Navarra now is the new leader of the overall rankings. Look at that. So the final round cost Vincent Keimer dearly. So he lost the lead in overall rankings. Of course, they still share the first place together with the Czech Grandmaster, but it's Navarra who has the better tiebreak because of the Chess 960 tournament.
Absolutely, but of course everything can happen, but we can see that there is a huge fight, like all three players are so close to each other. This is incredible.
I mean, you just couldn't have written a better scenario because also the reigning champion, Wang Liem, is within a half a point margin from the two leaders. So essentially, three players like Wang Liem, Vincent Keimer, and David Navarra, they can become champions of the tournament overall because there's three more classical games to be played. And that means one of them most likely will become this year's event winner.
Absolutely, and we are waiting now for the players to come and hope that we're going to get maybe Arjun Arigaisi here with us for a brief interview.
Right, that would be really nice. So what we could do right now, let's make a very short break because we're not really sure how long it's going to take us, right? Could be a couple of minutes, could be a bit more. We hope to have the winner of the Blitz tournament here or one of the leaders of the overall rankings, maybe both of them. We'll see. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Hope you had a great day together with us. We'll be back in a moment.
And we are back to Biel Chess Festival. Today we are having Grandmaster Triathlon Blitz portion. I'm here with David Navarra, who has played very great, had very good performance in Blitz. David, you started not so great. How did you feel yourself?
I felt normally at the beginning. Sorry for crying. I just have sweat in my eyes and it hurt. So I started well in the first game, but then I lost several in a row. Basically, I know that my common problem in Blitz are time management and losing streaks. So both of this happened here, and it was difficult because all the opponents are very strong. There is no weak Blitz player. It was very tough, really. And luckily, then I started to play better, and I was also lucky at some points.
Yeah, so then at some moment you were rehabilitated and you went,
Yes.
Started winning the
I was
games.
very lucky at some points, really.
Okay, so which game, do you want to check the last game, the end game, or?
I mean, Gilles offered me a draw somewhere after
Or you
knight
can push.
h7 when he believed it was a 3-4 repetition. Perhaps there was some at some point, but I'm not sure if that right there. So I am not sure if this plan with b4 is good, but probably it's not. I am afraid there is bishop takes a3, because if I take on c6 and play queen b3, bishop b4, knight a2, there is c5, and somehow black returns the pawn with advantage. So we played on, and now I started to like my position. I was shuffling pieces here and there. Maybe there was something at some point, some knight d3, I'm not sure really. So I got some advantage, but we were both short of time, and I allowed this sacrifice on e5, which was not very clever, but still better than allowing sacrifice on e3. So black is probably doing normally. Now I blundered something. The fork on d4 is quite unpleasant, so I had to sort of, sorry for moving so quickly, I'm on emotions now, so it's tough really for me. This
It's
is
understandable,
drawn,
yeah.
and here Gilles blundered something, but I think I don't know if h3 is a draw, but knight g5 looks fine because, no, maybe now I take on f7, but knight g5 instead looks fine because after king takes h4 there is a fork on f3, so I should play something else instead, but then h3 might follow in some cases. I think this is a draw anyway, but somehow it became tricky. Maybe black could try g5 now, because sometimes he can attack the e5 pawn with his knight, and his g pawn might also become dangerous. I have actually recently lost a similar game.
Oh.
Okay, it was not...
When did you play?
Online.
Online.
Actually, it was different, and it was much better for black than here. But okay, this is winning as far as I can remember, but I need to play rook f something, rook f4, say, king h8, rook g4, but I was not in time to calculate that I'm winning after rook takes g6. I don't know if it's possible to make moves here.
Yeah.
Rook f4, please.
Rook f4.
It's Zugzwang. So king g8, sorry.
King g8.
Rook g4. Now, yes, and now rook takes g6. I believed it to be a draw after g5, but there is just king d7, and white is quicker, and queens with a check. So I was not in time, actually. This is a theoretical endgame, but with so little time left, it is just tough. So rook f6 happened. I don't know if there was a 3-4 repetition or not.
At this moment?
I don't know at which moment. It is hard to say. Actually, I lost tempo in this position, so this is here for the second time, as far as I know. It had been here with king on g8 earlier. So I think this one is not 3-4, at least. So I had tried to decline, and now knight e6. Perhaps Gilles saw that it was losing, but I didn't, because I was short of time, tired. I don't know if king e6.
But maybe if he played it, you would have taken.
Not sure. Maybe I would have played king f6, and it probably does not spoil that much, except for some 3-4 repetitions. But now I knew what to do, because now it is winning. And after king g8, now I would have played rook a3, attacking the knight, and then I play rook a8 check. After the knight moves to d4 or somewhere, rook a8, and then I collect the pawn. So it's
Yeah, and
winning.
then it's winning.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I was lucky in quite some games, but okay, at the start I was not playing so bad that it would necessarily result in 1 out of 5. On the other hand, I could have lost even the first game. So it was very dramatic, and you see, I'm very tired, and I apologize for coming here in such a state, but it was just a very tough tournament. So many strong Blitz players, and I'm glad that in the end I managed to score not even 50%, which would I be happy with at the beginning, but +1.
Yeah, that's really great. And now you're actually overall leader for now. You have the same amount of points with Vincent, but you had the better tiebreak in chess 960. How do you feel yourself?
Okay, it's nice. I'm glad, primarily glad that I played well in Blitz. I mean, I did not play too badly in Blitz. That I did not end in a big minus because I was on -3 at some points of this event. But I mean, I'm glad 3 more rounds are left, and actually, like Wang Liam is just half a point behind, so it might be quite dramatic.
Absolutely. So you would like to have tomorrow's rest and
Yes.
prepare for the classical
Yes, I'm
round.
very much looking for the rest.
Okay, so we wish you a good rest day. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming here shortly showing the game, and we wish you good luck in the classical round.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And dear viewers, we're going to be back. We are going for a very short break, and we will be back with another interview. And we are back, and I'm currently with the winner of the Blitz tournament of Grandmaster Triathlon, Arjun Rigaisi. Arjun, congratulations.
Hey, thank you.
It was a tough day, so many great, amazing games today, many brilliances. How do you feel yourself?
Yeah, I think this was my only good day here, so I'm happy it went well at least.
Okay, so maybe first dive into one of the amazing games which you played. So one of them was against Yang Yi. It was a
Yeah.
very nice sacrifice.
Yeah, this was towards the end, I think.
Yes.
The third game from the last. So it was a dragon. He did not want to enter theory, I guess, so he just played this. And yeah, I was quite surprised to see B3. Thought he would just castle. But okay, yeah. I think castle was a mistake because H4, G4, and the sacrifice is very strong. The problem is if he goes bishop f3, I go knight e5, and he doesn't have a good way to protect the bishop. If he moves this knight, c3 will hang, and if he has to play bishop h1, then h2, and I just take, and it's a massive attack. So if he goes bishop h1 directly, it's the same check, and I take. So I have pressure here, bishop h1 is in the air, and this piece is not playing at all. So yeah, he played f3, and okay, H g2 should be better for me, but I think this is very precise. Bishop e5, maybe he should have gone king h1, but the thing is, he doesn't, like, I don't need to take hg now, I can play something else, maybe like bishop e5 anyway, threatening hg followed by h2. So yeah, f4, and I gave up that bishop, but I win this rook, and his king is very weak. And here's one important detail, is queen f4 runs into rook takes c3. He cannot take knight c3 because f4 hangs. If he takes on e3, I'll just recapture. And if he does this, I'll just take here, and it's completely winning. And again, this happened, and I was going to win his queen after king e1 rook h1. So here it is.
Yeah, absolutely. There are many questions to you from the chat, from the people who are watching. 1 second. So yeah, people are asking, how did you manage this? You know, you had quite rough days recently, and now you're coming here and you're winning the Blitz tournament, and actually with 2 points advantage.
Yeah, I enjoy Blitz a lot in general, so I just told myself I won't care about the score. I'll just try to enjoy Blitz and nothing else. And yeah, maybe that helped.
Okay, another question, of course, not so pleasant maybe, but what do you think? Did something go wrong with the preparation, or because we saw against, for example, David Navarro, you were playing full preparation. Do you know what might go wrong for you here, or?
Recently, I have been having rough patch, and yeah, one of the things was that I was playing too fast against Navarra. If I had taken some more time before playing b3, then maybe I would have found his resource with rook e7, and I would have been more careful. So yeah, time management was certainly an issue.
But besides the games, how do you enjoy your time in Biel? Tomorrow we'll have rest day.
Yeah, Biel is nice. It's beautiful, and I have been to Biel quite a few times. I always enjoy.
Yeah, 2 years ago you were here with completely different rating, right?
Yeah. I think this is my 4th time. All the times I was like about 2500 level, but now, yeah.
So we wish you good luck rehabilitating back to the classical event, because now you actually, with your result, you jumped closer on the 6th place right now. But of course, like, very strong tournament. Anyone can be the last, basically. We wish you have a good rest day, and good luck in the classical last rounds.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And dear viewers, we are going to have a rest day tomorrow. Okay, we are going to have a break, and after the break, we are coming back together with Arturs.
We are back, dear viewers. So that was some very exciting long day here in Biel. The 56th International Chess Festival has one more tournament under its belt. The Blitz tournament is finished, and that's why just 3 games of the classical tournament are finished. And before we come back to the action with the classical tournament, let's once again have a look at the overall rankings.
And indeed, today's tournament did a huge influence to the overall rankings because we are having the new leader, David Navarra, with 26 points. The same amount of points has Vincent Keimer, but David Navarra is actually first because he had 3rd place in the chess 960. After them, there is Lech Van Gleem with 25.5 points. Also got some huge success in the Blitz, very, very close to the leaders. And we see our winner of Blitz tournament, Arjun Erigaisi, is climbing up to the 6th place.
Right, so I don't think he has real chances to get to the top 3 because the top 3 is so far away from everybody else, but perhaps climb to top 4 seems to be still realistic, and I'm quite happy for him because after a disappointing start in the first tournament, finally a sweet victory with the fastest time control.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, tomorrow players are going to enjoy the rest day here in Biel. The special program is prepared from organizers for them.
Right, so we are probably not going to disclose any specific details. We'll talk about it on Monday when we're coming back with round 5 of the GMT. The tournament is reaching slowly the finish line. 3 more classical games. Of course, there's other tournaments to be played here. There's the MTO, the Swiss Championships, HTO, ATO. We couldn't show you all the interviews we have made. So we'll be back on Monday. Tomorrow is a rest day, so take a good rest. Come back on Monday. Again, 2 p.m. Central European Time. Angelika Volkova, I'm Grandmaster Artur Nations. We will be back again to analyze the games and see a very exciting finish to the GMT tournament.
See you on Monday. Thank you so much for following.
Take care.
Bye-bye.